It's really very simple. Poland is going for an America first in terms of seeking investment. The Prime Minister is in New York to promote trade. Ahead of the trip, Warsaw said it wants to build economic bridges with the United States so it can sell products there and find technologies not available in Poland. US President Donald Trump is a fan. He's been vocal in his support for the Polish government, which is in stark contrast to serious deepening tensions with the European Union. It's really pretty basic. Critics say the populist ruling party, Law and Order, is undermining Poland's democracy. These are accusations that are not new to the Polish Prime Minister, Mateusz Morawiecki, who joins me. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Prime Minister, we'll start with your visit to the United States. Have you found a new authoritarian friend with President Trump that you can do business with?
You must be kidding, Richard. We are here with lots of our CEOs and we meet many American CEOs. Some of them I know, some of them are new friends. For instance, the head of Hewlett-Packard, CEO of Hewlett-Packard, who has huge operation in the city where I come from, in Wrocław, southwestern part of Poland. And many others are invited to Poland as well.
Do you feel a certain affinity with a populist government in Washington when your own government can arguably have ridden the same horse?
What I really feel is that Poland has to actually bring closer the European Union and the United States again, because we are very pro-American and at the same time we are very pro-European. Not too many countries like this, and I believe that we can be a kind of, integrator of the transatlantic community.
You certainly can integrate from the US, because obviously they will. But Prime Minister, really, I mean, Poland is in the deepest of trouble with the European Union on the most fundamental of issues, the rule of law.
This is what some people believe, but actually
No, that's not a belief. That is a fact. No. The fact is that Article 7...
The fact is that many countries from Western Europe, which did not come through the communist times and post-communist time, they do not understand the idiosyncrasies and the different things which are happening in central part of Europe, in the Czech Republic, in Hungary, in Poland, in Romania, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Latvia, and some other countries. And this is what we try to explain. Poland is very much pro-European, but a little bit Brussels skeptic.
Okay, you're Brussels skeptic, and rightly so, in the sense that, I mean, the EU Commissioner Franz Timmermans says Poland government, your government, is systematically politically interfering with composition powers in the administration and the functioning of the judiciary.
And with exactly this gentleman, and as well as with Jean-Claude Juncker, I'm actually talking almost every months, many dialogues, many conversations since the beginning of this year. And actually we've changed a lot in our judiciary system. Several changes are actually going in a very right direction, and they are praising those changes big time. Like, for instance, random allocation of cases, which was not the case before, and which led to lots of wrong behavior.
Well, it doesn't really matter if you have random allocation of judges. If you put
random allocation of cases to the judge.
Right, but that doesn't really matter if you've already.
It matters a lot.
Well, not if you've already selected the judges.
5 years ago, our predecessors, actually, there was no random allocation, and a case in one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in Poland was supposed to be allocated to a special judge. So in our situation, it would not be possible anymore.
I don't want to get too much into the nitty-gritty, because obviously you will have a much better grasp of the detail in that sense. You are the Prime Minister, after all. But on the overarching picture, there is a feeling that Poland is going in the wrong direction on the question of the rule of law, the military, and, for example, media. Why is everybody else wrong and you're right?
Let me reply this through a very special example. FTSE Russell has requalified Poland from emerging market to developed market economies. Do you believe that this would be possible without checking all the institutions, not only the stock exchange and regulatory environment, but also institutional stability and legal environment? It wouldn't. So the proof is in the eating. We have been classified as a developed country with a stable market, not only regulatory environment, but rule of law as well.
So how do you explain the decision of the Commission to go for Article 7 against Poland for being in breach of Article...
Okay,
for being in breach of Article 2. One of your colleagues suggests it's all to do with the fact that maybe it's the fact that to punish Poland for having an independent policy and for the fact it has stopped being a neat, obedient country. Is that what you think? Do you think you're being punished because you've found your own voice?
It's much more than only one reason. We have really changed a lot. We have actually attacked VAT mafias and fraudulent taxation system, which was until 2016. And this is one of the reasons. Many people don't like it. So we have closed our VAT gap by the highest pace in the European Union. This is one of the reasons. Another one is that many people don't like that we have very independent policy, that we do not accept migration, for instance, because yes, this was very important. This was a bone of contention with the European Commission. Angela Merkel, Chancellor of Germany, she actually said, this is a Willkommenskultur. Let's come, everybody from the North Africa and Middle East, you can come to Europe. We said no. We want to preserve our culture. We want to preserve our country.
But it's interesting.
For security reasons.
But it's interesting that your closest friend in the Union seems to be Viktor Orban in Hungary, who has his own problems on exactly the same issues of media, judiciary, and...
We don't have problems with media. We have problems in explaining our judiciary reform. But I can give you an example. Our National Judiciary Council consists of 25 people, and a huge majority of them are appointed by judiciary. This is exactly opposite to the German case, where most of this National Judiciary Council and also composition of their Supreme Court is appointed by politicians, and it supposedly works well.
As we come towards the end here, I just want to come back to this, why you're here, and the relationships between the US and the EU. It's pretty difficult to see how there can be a good relationship when President Trump...
I still believe it can.
Well, President Trump offended Angela Merkel, was rude to Theresa May when on his last visit, has been downright unpleasant in terms of President Juncker on his last visit. Where is the common ground with this administration?
I don't want to be actually a defender of everything what President Trump is doing, but I will emphasize the two things. This is the form, and here is the substance. The form, you said about the form, and the substance is free and fair trade, imbalances in current account, imbalances in trade, or contribution of different NATO nations to the joint budget or to the joint commitments, I should have said, because every country is supposed to spend 2 or more percentage points on GDP, of GDP on military expenses. And only Poland and several other countries, including, of course, the United States, are doing. So who are the other countries who are not doing this? They are free riders, sir. So this is why President Trump is right in many instances. But in terms of, as far as form is concerned, maybe, you know, it's not for me to judge.
Being suitably diplomatic. Prime Minister, thank you very much. I tell you
so much.
If we bring Quest Means Business to Warsaw, you'll join us there?
Absolutely.
There you are. We'll come and promise that. Good to see you, Prime Minister. Good.